Sea vine bush behind me! It's full of dangerous creatures trying to kill me. But I'm Australian, so it's fine. See that pile of dirt down there? Just last week, I came out here with my GPX 6000 and I found about a half dozen little gold nuggets in that spot. But I want to know if there's any fine gold there. And with a little bit of luck, no ants.
No ants.
Hello, Christopher. This is Reginald P. Banshee. I'm not a Banshee ant. Even though my last name is Banshee, I am certainly not a Banshee ant that wants to nibble on your ankles.
Now I know I've done videos like this before where I've tested around where I've dug up gold nuggets, but this was a little bit different. The gold that I'm pulling out here is directly below a hard rock mine that is situated within alluvial hydrosluicing workings, and all the gold I was pulling out here was river worn. All of my gold nuggets and ant bites came out from this section here. Because we were getting detectable alluvial pieces of gold out of this, there's a really good chance there's going to be undetectable fine gold in here. But transporting full buckets of unconcentrated dirt out of the bush is really annoying, and it's heavy and there's too many flies and ants. Now obviously, dry washing this is going to be the way to go. But it's still a little bit too wet to do that, and to drag all that equipment out here to rub wet dirt through it makes no sense at all. That's where the Garrett Super Sluice comes in. And my bucket of olives. I'm going to be doing something called dry panning today. Dry panning is not as efficient as regular wet panning, but it helps concentrate the gold. So you'll get a percentage of loss, but the dirt that you do take to water, whether that's using a rock box, a sluice box, or a gold pan with water, the dirt that you take there will have a high concentration of gold in it, because what you're going to be doing is utilizing friction and gravity to force the gold to the bottom of the pan, and we're just going to collect the cons in this bucket. It works almost identically to regular panning. There's a few different methods of doing it. None of them are incorrect. They all have loss. All I do is I like to fill my pan up about, I don't know, 3/4 full. And then we're going to start the process, and the process is exactly the same as panning. We want to stratify the material. That means all the heavies go to the bottom and all the lights come to the top. Now, like I said, there are different methods of this, but I'm just going to show you this one today. So I just shake side to side, back and forth, side to side, back and forth. And you can see already we're getting the same sort of stratification process you would get with water. Just need to do a lot more stratification when it comes to dry panning than you would if you were wet panning, because there's no water to open up the dirt and let everything sink. So we just want to spend a bit more time shaking the dirt around. I'm using the Garrett Super Sluice because it has really deep riffles. What we're going to do is we're going to start shaking side to side and tipping the pan forward. And re-stratify. Like I said, you're going to lose gold. You're going to lose it. That's okay, because there's no other way of getting at it. And I've already detected all of the dirt behind me. And I'm not going to take it down too far. I reckon about that much, and that's going to go in our bucket. In theory, that's where our gold will be. Meaty scoops today because I didn't bring a shovel. I really hope I don't grab a bloody bull ant. Now if I had a second pan here, we could do the tipping method, because we've got a bit of a breeze where you'd have one pan on the ground, you would stand up and you just pour the dirt from your top pan into your bottom pan, and the wind will blow away the dust. But I don't have a second pan here with me today. Bit of an oversight. Every one of those pans takes me about 1 minute, and that's why you're losing so much. Not only is the water not available to open the dirt up and let everything sink and break up clay balls and all of that good stuff, but also we're going a lot faster. Now you could slow it down, but in my experimentation, you don't really get any benefit from it. All right, another one down. Dry panning is one of these glorious things that opened up and revolutionized the Western Australian goldfields. That and the puffer boxes, or the dry washers back in the day, is what allowed people to discover the new gold deposits, go out, find new gold fields, pull out some amazing world record breaking nuggets. And those gold fields are still going in many places today. So this technique is not to be dismissed, even though it's not as efficient. Efficiency isn't everything. Sometimes you've got to settle for what you can get. I just discovered that Gadsy has a small blue pan here, And of course, as soon as I broke it out, the wind disappeared. But we're going to try that technique that I was talking about earlier, because it is a more effective technique. You're not going to increase your gold take by a whole heap, but it's enough that it's worth a shot. So the idea here is that you're turning your pan into a dry blower. You don't really need to stratify or anything, but when you tip the dirt from a height like this down into the bottom pan, the wind that was here and now has magically gone away takes all the lighter material away, and in theory your gold and your heavy rocks drops down to that pan. See if we've got any breeze left at all. We kind of do. It is separating. Yeah, I can show you this in a second. That's actually working really well. A little bit difficult to see because I didn't have much breeze, but this is most of the heavy dense rock, and right here is all that powder that the very light breeze blew away. So if we get that bigger breeze going, I'll keep repeating this by tipping it back and forth between the pans, and eventually I'll be left with just the heavier stuff. I can hear the breeze coming. Let's see how we go. Here we go. Yeah, look at that. Look how much more material is getting blown away now that breeze picked up. Nice, nice, nice. Well, we reduced it a lot. Cool. That in there is 7 pans worth of concentrates. I am going to keep going and do more. This is number 8. And what I wanted to show you is that there is a little bit of a technique you can use sometimes to see the gold. Now I'm expecting it to be fine gold in this area, so I don't know if we're going to see anything. Tapping method, we're going to go from the pan being flat level like this, tilting it up on about a 45-degree angle, maybe a little bit shallower. We're going to use our hand and rapid tap up the top here like we would if we were using water. And what that will do is roll a lot of this big stuff down the bottom. But all the really dense material tends to hang up the top. So we keep going till it really sorts itself out. And if I had a straw here, I'd use a straw, but I don't. So I'm going to use my mouth. And we just blow this material here very gently. And we keep an eye out for any pieces of gold. I couldn't see anything in that one, but you never know. Worth checking. Skill worth learning to have if you live in an arid area. I've now got 10 pans worth of concentrates, and you can see that wind blowing method is quite effective. We've got that real light dust spread out all over here, and gold simply just will not go with that kind of wind. Some developments. That right there is a hard rock mine. That's the actual mine itself, and they were working quartz. Right up in there is the quartz vein that they were chasing all the way down to the supergene zone. This is its mullock pile, and that's its gadzi. The waste rock was thrown up out of this mine, and then the mullock piles goes down the hill to a pinch point. This is the edge of the mullock pile right here. All of this area was hydro-sluiced, meaning they came up here with water cannons, some industrious workers, and a spark in their eye. That's the original ground height. They washed all of this away, and they washed it away for one reason: alluvial gold. You see, millions of years ago, this was a river, like a proper river, not what we have here today, little tiny creeks and stuff that don't flow very hard. And those rivers were transporting gold from way back up in the hills. When they came through here and hydro-sluiced it, they uncovered more hard rock mines because they washed away all the topsoil. So suddenly the quartz veins that were carrying gold in this system were suddenly available to work and see. Mullock pile stops about there. This is clean washed bedrock. I know it doesn't look like it, but it's decaying. So the top few inches of this is very soft. It looks like dirt, but it is actually the bedrock. And I know that because I've been breaking it up with my pick. Meaning that instead of getting hard rock specimens out of this pile like I normally would, I'm actually finding alluvial washed gold that was trapped inside the bedrock when the old timers hydro-sluiced everything. And so now I'm literally in the bedrock, and have a listen to this. So unless that's on a piece of quartz, I'm going to bet that is a water-worn nugget. I'm not going to take too much off because the pieces I've been getting out of here have been real small. This could still be a specimen because we're in line with that mullock pile. Okay, we shifted it, whatever it was. It's tiny. Whatever this is minuscule. And it's in the bedrock. So I'm going to bet it's gold. But there we go, second scoop. This is why I'm dry panning, because I know that if I'm getting little flakes of gold just like this one with a detector, that there should be some super fine alluvial pieces in that bucket. I've been out detecting for a little while now. I haven't found any gold other than that one little flake. And because we've got over 10 pans worth of concentrates in this bucket, I'm just going to supplement it with some raw dirt. Obviously this is going to dilute it, but this way we'll know if there's any ultrafine stuff that I may have lost in the dry panning process. So we have 10 pans of concentrates and about maybe 1.5 pans worth of random sample. The creek and the sun.
Ah, I'm melting.
And our dirt. Let's see if we've got gold, because I want to know. Don't worry about that. That's a future project. Le tip. Look at that. 10 pans fits in one. Nice big bits of bedrock I was digging up. What do you reckon, Gadsy? Ironstone, black sand, or nothing?
Ironstone and about 20 specks of gold.
Ironstone and 20 specks.
And maybe a couple of big nuggets.
I'm going to go with ironstone, but not very dark ironstone, and maybe 4 specks.
4 specks?
Yeah.
God, yeah.
Big bucks. Dry panning like this usually loses up to 70% of the gold. So whatever we get in here, you can add about 70% to the ratio, and that'll be a more accurate number. However, did we even get 1 speck? Oh, I can see a speck there. I've seen one. Oh! Oh! Okay. They're chunky as.
Oh my God.
What the? I was about to swear my head off then. Whoa! We're going back there with a dry washer, Gadsy.
Hell yeah.
They're pickers.
Yeah, man.
Look at the size of those things.
Oh, they make up at least 20 or 30 specks, I'd say.
Like each.
I don't know. Would you have even been able to detect that?
Yeah, but I mean, like that's on the threshold. Like that'd be. I could probably get that if it was maybe a centimeter from the coil. And it would be light. Like a piece like this would have to be touching the coil for me to be able to get it.
Oh my God. 70%.
Yeah.
70%.
Yeah, you lose about 70%. There's fine gold in there too. And the big chunky bits. That has a shotgun pellet. I thought, oh, we might get a few flakes of gold there. There was more than a few flakes of gold there. We're going back.
Let's go back now.
With a dry washer.
Yeah, 70%.
70% loss.
70%.
Up to 70% loss. And
70%. 70%.
70%.
70%. That's really good.